General George Washington, richest man in Virginia. Rich, I mean rich. Plantation owner, had slaves, was known as a very upright man. His best friend was a slave. George is his number one confidant. He wouldn't do anything without his counsel. No lie. Always gave him a close shave, was with him everywhere he went. It was his best friend, not just his slave, but his confidant. And he gave everything to join the war. He was a soldier before the Continental Congress and all them started getting together and speaking of revolution, and he was involved in the politics before that. But when they started the Continental Congress of the rebellion and so forth about freedom and issuances with the King of England and so forth, he sat there for months in his military uniform and never said hardly few words at all, and generally only when asked. But he sat there in his military uniform the whole time, kept his mouth shut. Richest man in Virginia. The statement was pretty sound in itself. I'm ready when you are. Whenever y'all call me to, I'll do it. And so the joke goes, when they finally decided to declare the war, they're all looking around the room and they're like, well, who do y'all think we should make commander-in-chief? And Washington's sitting there in his uniform the whole time. He's a very gentleman, Victorian type. Read a book on and practiced every bit of it, of the modern thing of gentlemen and all that. He's spoke really quiet. Nobody could hear him at the inauguration. It's the reason they chose him to be the first commander and then commander-in-chief of the nation. It's the reason they chose him to be first president. He actually is so humble and gentleman that he set the precedence for 2 terms. It was never law. He just did it, and every other president afterwards, all the way through until I think Roosevelt, I think it was FDR, who ran more than 2 terms. There's a heavens of a precedence. He's also the reason that we call it president. They suggested His Excellency, royalty, and Washington chose president. Very humble man, gave everything for freedom. Nothing to gain but freedom by the truth.